Content, content, content. It's all we hear about today. How good is your content? Gotta have great content. Okay, that's probably true. But what does it mean? How does it flow? How does it affect your business? Stay tuned and I'm going to tell you about the stream of content and how it all works. Content. It's become a buzzword, a single word that encapsulates many things, but really just means one thing: the output of somebody's creative efforts. And these days, that means it's likely to end up on a screen. It could be an app, a software platform, a video, a blog, a website, a show. Really, the list is almost endless. Content is created, it's sold, it's distributed, it's shared, it's referenced, and it's stolen. Content really, it almost moves like a stream. Where and when you find yourself in the middle of that stream indicates what you're going to do with it or what risks you have. But rather than locks and dams and channels to organize the flow of water, we use contracts and copyright law to kind of channel the stream of content to help you navigate. And it all begins sort of like a stream. It begins at the spring, at the moment of creation. As we've talked about in other videos, copyright comes into being the moment the work is created. That's the spring. But what if your business involves paying somebody else to create things for you? You aren't really at the stream, but you want to own the stream. You better have those work for hire agreements. What if you fit somewhere else in the process? Maybe you're a distributor, you want to use something and pass it on. Or maybe you're at the end of the stream and you want to channel it and be able to use all the rights. Each one of those things involves a contract and the manipulation or the understanding of copyright law to channel it into the stream. But there's some other aspects that come into it, and as a screen lawyer, we like to work with our clients to find out where you fit in this process. And that comes back to the question we often have to ask at the start. How do you make money? Are you acquiring content from somebody else? Are you distributing content to somebody else? Are you actually creating it? Are you using employees? Are you using other works? All of those issues determine where you fit in the stream of the content. How do you make money? What does your revenue stream come from? And that tells us a lot about what we're going to do. And we've talked about that in some other videos. But there's another point I think you want to think about that, and that is, how might you make money? This is that part of the stream that goes around the bend that you can't see. Is it waterfalls, or is it open into a pristine lake? Who knows? But you've got to do some thinking ahead of time. And here's a great example. You may have heard of Skinny Girl Margaritas. Bethany Frankel of Real Housewives started the Skinny Girl Margaritas and the Skinny Girl Cocktails program years ago during the first season of that show. And a couple of years later, she sold it to Beam Inc. for a reported $120 million. And what was so most fascinating about that isn't so much that a brand was launched on a television show, but it's the fact that the network, the production company, none of those other players in a very sophisticated environment ended up with any piece of the ultimate sale of the brand. Why? Because back then, nobody thought a brand would get introduced entirely newly on a television show. And so nobody carved out the licensing rights. Bethany was the owner of them, and she got to keep them. But you know what happened after that? Every single reality television show, all of the contracts now include language carving out the possibility to participate in future licensing in the event a brand is created or launched on a show. It's an example of the first person, Lewis and Clark. They got around the stream, they told the rest of us how to deal with it, and now everybody else is planning for that possibility. So don't forget, when you're navigating the stream of content, you got to figure out where you are in the process. You use contracts and copyright law to help you navigate, and think about what might be around the bend. That may be your biggest opportunity. Take care.